What seemed like a peaceful hearing of the Petroleum Industry Bill in Room 028 has been thrown into a pandemonium following a fight by some members of the host communities. The fights broke out exactly when the chairman of the ad hoc committee on PIB, Honorable Mohammed Mongonu, who had been moderating the proceedings, called the host communities to make their presentation. To this end, lawmakers and other participants scampered for safety as security agents tried to restore calm. In the same light, a coalition of civil society organizations in a media briefing expressed their grievances over their inability to express and paint the true picture of the host communities. They, however, noted that the environmental pollution concerns are almost entirely ignored, saying the executive bill focuses on production and commercial viability of industry.
Whether you are looking at it in terms of the Constitution or in terms of the standing orders of the Senate and the House of Representatives, we are supposed to have a public hearing properly so-called. But what is making us angry as civil society and those communities is that we have a situation where, as the members of the press have said, this public hearing was held based on a set of regulations. In one breath, the chairman of the committee allowed the multinational companies, the government representatives, and those they categorize as critical stakeholders to speak to their memo. Otherwise, if this was just about commission of memo, we could have sat down in our various states and sent those recommendations. But to now ask me, for example, some of us came from Lagos, from Akwa Ibom, and all over the country, to come here and just go and say, I adopt what I have already submitted. It is an injustice. It shows the level of disregard that this parliament has for host communities, which is why my colleague made a point that when you look at what they claim are provisions for host communities, they are not really provisions for host communities. This bill looks like the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob, because this is a bill that looks as if the oil companies sat down and drafted it. From the beginning to the end, every provision that relates to host community is entirely in favor of the so-called system. They determine the membership of the trust.
It is important for the House of Reps to go downwards, to cascade this deliberation downwards. It's not about law, it's not about constitutionalism, it's about legitimacy. It is about ownership. One of the biggest drawbacks of this legislation, which has spanned about 20 years, is the absence of the real owners of the oil and gas resources from the conversations around the bill. So we thought that in this case, it's going to be different. But what we are seeing here is the same of the same.
The purpose of the PIB is to just see how there will be structures. It has to do with the community, the host community. And if the PIB has not done anything positively or has not followed up to the end to see the need or to know the need in the first place, and also to meet the needs in the host community where the oil is being produced, I think it is a failure altogether.